Howdy gamers, let's talk about the runes for Lucian. Really what Lucian's looking for with his runes is like amplification to his damage, and the only ways for him to really achieve that is through press the attack. You do have variation in his second runes, but press the attack is really the only way for him to do it, being an ADC champion, and really being confined to the precision tree, because even if you were to go something like, like Electrocute, you'd be put in the domination tree, and then you have something like sudden impact, maybe eyeball collection or ghost poro, and then you can't make any use of the bounty hunter runes anyways. And then once you spend your initial burst on someone, then you're really out of damage with something like this. So moving on to his actual keystones, basically his only keystone is going to be press the attack. With press the attack, hitting an enemy champion with 3 consecutive basic attacks deals bonus adaptive damage based on your level, and then also makes them vulnerable, increasing all damage they take by a percentage based off your level for 6 seconds. So with this, with your initial combo with Lucian, no matter how you do it, you're going to be proccing press the attack, and then you're going to be amplifying the damage with your basic attacks, your passive, and then either the rotation of 1 or 2 of your abilities afterwards. And with that, it's just simply giving you more damage than other keystones could. Even something like Conquer might sound okay, but with Conquer, your basic attacks are spells that deal damage to enemy champions, grant you 1 stack since you're ranged, and then with every Conquer stack you gain bonus attack damage. And then once it's fully stacked, you heal for 15% of the damage that you deal. The problem with this is that you would have to build this up, and since you're ranged, it takes you so much longer to build up the Conqueror stacks. And then once it's fully built up, you've probably spent every single one of your abilities. So it's like you've built up this bonus attack damage from Conquer, and now you don't really have anything to use it with other than like 1 or 2 auto attacks because you've spent every ability. So the value of that's really low. The healing from it is also like basically negligible for an AD carry. So to the actual keystone press the attack, it's so easy for Lucian to proc. You can auto, E, auto, and then dump every other ability that you have, W, auto, Q, auto, ult, and then the person's probably dead. You also could just Q, auto, E, auto, and then W as like a lane trade. You could W and then auto, E, auto. There's just lots and lots of ways to proc this, and then once you do, it's such an easy like and fast trade in the laning phase. Come mid to late game, it's also really useful because since Lucian's so short range, you're only hitting one target anyways, and with that, you're getting more damage to that target initially, and then as you're damaging them as well. You also increase all damage that they take, so it helps your team like peel for you as you're making the target vulnerable that's trying to dive onto you, and then you're dealing more damage to them, and so is everyone else. So if you kill them, that's the best type of peel is literally killing the enemy champion that's diving onto you. For the secondary runes, you have good options in Overheal or Triumph. Like Overheal actually isn't bad for Lucian. You don't get good values out of it until later, but if you're building Blade of the Rune King, I think you should go Overheal. But I don't think you should build Blade of the Rune King for like most team comps with Lucian. I think you're better off going Essence Reaver as like a BF sword really makes or breaks this champion. And where games are so volatile, especially in solo queue, it's really hard to like things go really wrong if you start losing after you've already started building into Blade of the Rune King versus just building a BF sword. So if you're building Blade of the Rune King, sure, go Overheal. But if you're building anything else, then I think Triumph's going to serve you a lot better. Triumph also has pretty good synergy with Lucian's kit, as if you get ahead, then a lot of what you're going to be doing is dashing into the enemy, and then since Lucian's so short range, it's very likely that he's going to be taking a lot of damage, and then with that, if you have more HP or surviving in a fight, then things are just better off for you. With Triumph, takedowns restore 12% of your missing health and grant you additional 20 gold, so it basically just helps you stay alive, and then the additional 20 gold on a kill or assist is just a nice luxury. For the third runes, you have good options in Alacrity or Bloodline. Alacrity giving you bonus attack speed, and then Bloodline giving you bonus lifesteal. With Alacrity, it's really important to have the attack speed from this, as Lucian's combo, like the speed of it needs to be fast, and the speed of it is also dependent on your attack speed. So with that, it makes your combo faster. It makes it so that you just have more auto attacks after your full combo, and then that is basically your DPS. So without it, it does feel really bad. And where Lucian doesn't have easy itemization into attack speed, if you're building something like Essence Reaver, IE into like a Zeal item, then it's really, really solid for him. Lucian also doesn't make great use out of the lifesteal compared to other ADCs. So think about ADCs like Aphelios, Zaya, etc. Like they really need the healing versus Lucian. He really just wants more damage, and that's the benefit of this champion. So like I don't think all-in healing for him is good, and that's kind of another reason why I play the Rune King's really bad on him. So I would go with Alacrity every single time, and then for the fourth rune, it's always going to be Coup de Grace. Um, Even if you're playing into a lot of tanks, like it's not your job to kill them as Lucian. So cut down becomes really, really bad, and even if you are playing into tanks, Coup de Grace can still give you value as you're going to be dealing 8% more damage to champions who are below 40% health. So you do have tools to get them to low health, as uh, you can spend a full rotation on a tank with press the attack, and then you're going to be increasing all the damage that you deal to them, and you're also going to be increasing the damage that your team deals to them, and then if that doesn't get them to 40% health, you have bigger problems than what runes you ran. So, but in a normal setting, Coup de Grace is going to help you finish off targets, and it just adds to your burst inevitably. So you could dash auto, Q auto, and then your W ult. Every single tick of your ult would be dealing more damage with Coup de Grace. Every single auto attack, even the passive damage. So Lucian makes really, really, really good use out of Coup de Grace because you have to think about what part of your damage is getting the 8% increase, and Lucian has a lot of ways to get that 8% increase, whether it's like I said, the ult ticks, the passive autos, just the auto attacks, second rotation of your Q, etc. So for secondary runes, this is really where the only variation in Lucian's build comes in, and really your only good options are Nimbus Cloak, Gathering Storm, or Inspiration with Biscuits and Free Boots. Go figure. The benefits of Free Boots and Biscuits for Lucian is that you get the earlier mana, and then you also have a laning tool with Biscuits, but the laning tool in Biscuits isn't that strong, especially where you could just be looking to play for the wave early and then play for your BF sword. That's a lot stronger. Having the boots for free also isn't that great, as like getting to tier 2 boots for Lucian isn't really that crazy. And it's not so necessary for him for the mobility compared to other champions. So think about like stationary AD carries like Kog'Maw, Jinx, etc. Since Lucian has a dash, he really doesn't get a huge amount of benefit from that compared to other champions. With Sorcery Second, there is so much luxury in Nimbus Cloak alone. With Nimbus Cloak, after you cast a summoner spell, you gain bonus movement speed, increase that lasts for 2.5 seconds and allows you to pass through units. The increase is based off the cooldown of the summoner spell that you cast. So if you're casting Flash, it's more, but then if you cast Heal, it's still going to give you like a pretty significant movement speed increase, and that movement speed is going to have both offensive and defensive utility, as it's going to help you chase someone down in lane if you're winning, and then if you're getting ganked, then it's going to help you run away without having to spin your flash. Just spinning the heal and then getting the Nimbus Cloak to go a lot faster, and I mean a lot faster, especially since bot lane's such a long lane. The utility in it is so high, and then come mid to late game when you're just looking at like team fights, you also have a lot of utility where you could just flash dash like into the enemy team or away from them. It gives you so much maneuverability in team fights, man, and it's just such a luxurious rune, and I don't see free boots like outweighing it. Um, yeah, especially coming into season 10, things are getting really chaotic. For the secondary rune, in the sorcery tree, your best bet is Gathering Storm. Gathering Storm is going to give you bonus attack damage every 10 minutes. So most games you're going to be sitting on the 14 attack damage offered, and that's completely fine. Just adding to all the damage that you deal. The reason you don't want to go Absolute Focus over Gathering Storm is because with Absolute Focus, you have to be above 70% health to get the bonus AD. That's a downside for an AD carry, especially an AD carry that wants to spend their health to like kill the enemy, such as Lucian. The bonus attack damage offered from Absolute Focus is also based off your level. Since you're an AD carry, you're going to be getting less levels than almost everyone in the game, so you're not going to be getting the most value out of Absolute Focus that you could. And yeah, there might be brief instances in which Absolute Focus would be giving you like 1 or 2 more attack damage than Gathering Storm would before 20 minutes, but that really doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter. Kind of the same thing with Transcendence. Like you could get the 10% cooldown reduction from this. It would be okay, but to get to level 10 takes you a long time on ADC versus just having the extra attack damage. no matter the game state, and it just makes things more consistent. So if you're playing into an AP matchup, especially in the bot lane, so against champions like Syndra, Cassiopeia, or like Karthus jungle, you could look to run Nullifying Orb. It can be used offensively for Lucian, as staying alive means that you're dealing more damage. But with Nullifying Orb, whenever you take magic damage, that would reduce you to below 30% health. You gain a magic damage shield that absorbs magic damage based off your level, and that's really it. So it really does help against champions like Bygar, Syndra. So whenever you're playing into those, maybe consider running it. And that's really the only variation I think you should look for. For the adaptive runes, it's always going to be attack speed, attack damage, and armor. And yeah, that's really it. So that's the runes I'd recommend for Lucian. Again, I don't think that free boots and biscuits outweigh Nimbus Cloak because of the bonus movement speed offered. And then with since you're going to the sorcery tree with Nimbus Cloak, you're also having to outweigh the bonus attack damage offered from Gathering Storm, which free boots and biscuits just don't do. Lucian doesn't need the extra mana from this. He doesn't need the extra healing in lane. The extra healing in lane is also like 50 to 70, by the way. It's really not that crazy. And then to save 300 gold doesn't outweigh the extra movement speed. The reason you wouldn't go something like Domination second would be like you could run something like Sudden Impact and then I guess Ravenous, but with Ravenous you would heal from the percentage damage dealt by your abilities, which isn't that much. It's just your QW ult. And with Sudden Impact, yes, you could get 7 lethality and 6 magic penetration every time you dash, but that damage isn't going to like make or break things. And it's probably not going to outweigh the bonus AD offered from Gathering Storm at most stages, so yeah. And that utility from Nimbus Cloak, man. Really just try to, this rune's like really 1v9ing. So yeah, anyways, that's Lucian runes. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I answer literally all of them. If this video helped you, leaving a like on the video helps me. And if you're interested in watching me talk or play League of Legends, you can check out my Twitch. It's twitch.tv/SawyerNelson. Lucian is really strong if you build a BF sword, man. Like, trust me. Blade of the Rune King is the biggest scam ever. Like, just build a BF sword once. Trust me, man. Build a BF sword. It's crazy. You just, like, come on, man. What are people thinking? Lifesteal? Lifesteal? Drake?